Hi, Omega Chaos again with another real life deck profile, and this time I'm showing my Resonator deck. So I tried to do a real life deck profile for this deck for a while, but I never really got the chance to do it, didn't really have time and stuff like that. It's definitely very much a casual deck, but since obviously the Red Rising Dragon is now out, the deck is pretty playable, I think. So I guess let's cover this deck. But first the monsters, of course. So triple Rare Resonator, one of the best Resonator monsters, definitely really good for sure, gets everything going. Then I use triple Force Resonator. The reason why I use as many level 2 resonators as possible, because those work very well with Red Rising Dragon, because obviously you summon a level 4 and like Force Resonator or Red Resonator, then you go into Red Rising Dragon, then you revive the Resonator, and then go into like your Red Dragon Archwind monsters. Then I use one Creation Resonator, because you can go into your Red Nova Dragon with this card. So yeah, that's why it's in here. I think it's pretty good. Then I use one Chain Resonator, because they're pretty good. Because if you know someone this card and while you control a Synchro monster, you can spell one level Resonator monster from the deck. So definitely really good for your double tuning plays. Then I use triple Synchron Resonator. Pretty much another very important Resonator card, because it's level 1. You can spell summon it if you control a Synchro monster. And then you, of course, the most basic combo is that you have like your level 8 Red Dragon Archwind Synchro on your field, spell summon this, and then you go into Abyss, and then you can go from there. And also if you Synchro summon with this card, you can add a Resonator monster from the graveyard back to your hand. Definitely very powerful card. Then I use actually a triple Red Nova. I think it's pretty good, because again, if you control a level 8 or higher Dragon type Synchro monster, you can spell summon this card from the hand. And then again, you can go into like your Abyss and stuff like that. And if you like a double tuning with this card, you can get you can summon a Fire Fiend from your deck. It's definitely pretty good. Then for your non-tuners, I use triple Red Varg, because it's a level 6, and if you normal summon Resonator, you can spell summon this card from the hand. It's definitely pretty good. Then I use a triple Red Sprinter, because if you normal spell summon this card while you control no other monsters, you can spell summon now level 3 or lower Fiend type tuner monster from your hand or graveyard. Definitely pretty good, of course, to get into Red Rising Dragon and stuff like that, and can summon from both hand and graveyard. Then I use triple Wandering King Wildwind, which is the last monster in the main deck. So if you control a Fiend type tuner with 59 lost attack, you can spell summon this card from the hand. But if you summon this card that way, you can only summon Synchro monster from the next deck that turn. So obviously it's pretty limited, so you can't like link summon first and then go into Synchro. But yeah, definitely pretty unfortunate. But you can banish this card in the next turn, because you can't banish it in the same turn. So then you can search for a Fiend type tuner with 15 less attack from the deck. So definitely a pretty good card for this deck. So the spells, so I use triple Resonator Core, because of course it searches for any Resonator monster from the deck. Then I use 1-for-1, of course, because you do play quite a few level 1 monsters in this deck. Then I use triple Return of the Dragon Lords, but obviously you play a lot of level 8 Synchros, level 8 Dragon Synchros in this deck. So you can then potentially revive them and to also protect your Dragon type monsters. Definitely pretty good in this deck. And of course the classic Monster Reborn, obviously. So that was the spells. Now let's see the trap cards. So first I use 2 Resurrect Reborn. It's pretty good. If your opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can end the battle phase, and then you can spell summon a Synchro monster and the tuner monster from the graveyard, but they have effects negated. So they're really pretty good recovery card and stuff like that. And and stopping their OTK and stuff like that. So definitely pretty good. But it is definitely pretty conditional. So yeah. And then of course you need some other protection, because this deck is not really a combo, like heavy combo deck. Like you don't really have like multiple negates on the field. Generally you just summon like one Abyss or maybe Pain and stuff like that. So you need some other protection. So I use all the Solams pretty much. So I use of course triple Solemn Judgment, of course really good. I don't think I need to explain it further. Triple Solemn Strike, of course, very good as well. Again, I don't think it needs any explanation. And of course, one Solemn Warning. It's still at 1 for some reason, while other Solemns are at 3. So it's pretty much a matter of time before this card comes back to multiples as well. So that was steps and the whole main deck. Now let's see the deck. So first, of course, I use one Red Nova Dragon. You don't really summon it that often, but it still can be a very powerful card for sure. Then I use one Tyrant Red Dragon Archwind. A pretty good card. You can pretty much blow up the whole field, and has some other good abilities as well. So it's kind of like retrained Red Nova Dragon for like it appeared in, of course, Arc 5. So yeah, definitely pretty good, I would say. But again, you're probably not going to summon it that often. Then Hot Red Dragon Archwind, King Calamity. Really good card as well, I think. It has some pretty good abilities, so if you sync summon this card, your opponent cannot do anything else in the turn. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. Then one Hot Red Dragon Archwind Pain, pretty good as well. Level 10, so it requires one tuner and one non-tuner Dark Dragon Synchro Monster. So basically you can tribute the monster and then revive a Red Dragon Archwind monster from the graveyard. It's definitely pretty good to extend your plays and stuff like that. Then of course one of the main synchros is Hot Red Dragon Archwind Abyss. Definitely you want to go into it first turn for sure, because obviously it can negate anything. So obviously this card was used most recently in like the card dragon combo decks to summon out with Agar Pain, but now that Agar Pain is banned, now this card is only going to be used in like these kind of decks. Then I use one Hot Red Dragon Archwind, which is the manga Red Dragon Archwind, pretty good I would say. Then I use one Scarlet Red Dragon Archwind, which is probably the best one, which was of course the Arc 5 version of Red Dragon Archwind. Definitely very powerful for sure. And then I use double of the original Red Dragon Archwind from 5Ds, but unfortunately it's probably the worst one, but it still can be good in some situations. Then I use triple Red Rising Dragon. I think this card is extremely important for this deck, because obviously you're going to have your level 4 monster and your level 2 Resonator. And then you sync summon with this card, of course, like I explained before, because it obviously, if you sync summon this card, you can summon a Resonator from the graveyard, but you can only summon Dark Dragon Synchro Monsters in that turn, so from the X deck. And also you can banish this card, and then you can summon 2 level 1 Resonators from the graveyard, so then you can go into your double tuning plays as well. Then I use one Red Wyvern, which is the last Synchro Monster in this X deck. Definitely pretty good if you can't really go into anything else. So yeah, and I use some Link monsters, but generally you don't go into Links in this deck much at all, because of all of those heavy restrictions on a lot of these cards. So you won't be able to go into like a Link monster and then multiple Synchros, because it's just a much slower deck, and again those restrictions really hurt quite a lot. So you use one Master King Archwind, because obviously you have most of the monsters in the main deck are Fiend type, so it definitely works well. And then I use one Dual Little Chimera, because you have quite a few fire monsters as well. But you can use something like Beat Cup or like Landfall Inquisition instead of this if you wanted to. This was my Resonator real life deck profile. Definitely a very fun deck very fun deck to play. Obviously not very competitive by any means. I hope this deck gets more support in the future, because I think it's really very nice. So I hope you enjoyed this real life deck profile. For now, goodbye and Omakios out.